Mass Effect 1. Whew, what a game. It had great combat, a really fantastic story, and an excellent universe rich with strange aliens to meet and loads of planets to explore. It had a charismatic main character with an excellent ensemble cast, even with a great antagonist for the game. It really did have it all. It was fun, memorable, and it is one of those games that will be forever ingrained into gaming's history. Let's fast forward now to Mass Effect 2, the new and shiny sequel that set out to improve on its predecessor's faults and broaden its appeal to a wider audience with improved combat and sharper visuals. With a higher overall Metacritic and the privilege of being many video game journalism outlets' 2010 Game of the Year, it is widely considered to be the better game of the two. But is it? Well, I'm here to give you my take, and I hope you'll enjoy while I, take you along for the ride. As I am just sort of winging this isn't very scripted at all, I would just like to quickly discuss some of the things I did enjoy, some of the things I thought were genuinely improved from the first to the second, and I can't really fault at all. The first of these would have to be the morality system, the renegade paragon options that you're routinely given throughout the game to make choices and sort of make the game feel more of your own. They didn't really tweak it all that much from the first to the second, which I think is a definite plus because it worked in the first one, it works just as good in the second one. So yeah, I really didn't think it needed to be changed all that much. Secondly, and more importantly, would be the visuals. It's no mystery that number 2 is significantly more beautiful to look at than the first game. Not that the first game was ugly or it looked bad. The textures are just a little sharper, a little less muddy, and all the planets are just consistently nice looking. I think that's good. I think that looks good. I think it looks cool. I like it. Now onto the shit I didn't like. Mass Effect 2 is for dumb babies who can't think straight. Alright, calm yourself, Elliot. It is no mystery to anyone who knows me. They know I, by far, prefer Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2. And the purpose of this video is to sort of enlighten you and let you know my opinion and why I think so. It's not that I inherently dislike Mass Effect 2. I just prefer Mass Effect 1. And why is that? Well, let's break this down then. We'll start off with the story. The overall story for number 1 is that you are Commander Shepard, the captain of the Normandy. You've been sent out to go investigate a distress signal sent from a planet, and that they've had some sort of attack. Someone's attacking them. Who is it? I'll tell you who. It's an alien called Saren who's attacked the planet because he's hell-bent on getting some old technology from a civilization long past.
Don't you understand? Everyone you know and love, everyone you will all die. Join us. Is submission not preferable to extinction?
He believes obtaining this technology will allow him to bring back an even older civilization for reasons not known until later in the game. Me, personally, I think this is a really strong way to open a game. You've established who the protagonist is, who the antagonist is, and essentially some form of what the antagonist hopes to achieve. Throughout the game, to combat the threat, you'll collect an ensemble cast of different humans and aliens of all different species and backgrounds. And towards the end, you'll all work together to stop him from bringing back the Reapers, who are the older civilization, and thus saving the entire universe from total annihilation. Now, Mass Effect 2 actually, in my opinion, has a better opening than Mass Effect 1. By a long shot, actually. Mass Effect 2 starts with the crew of the Normandy doing some routine survey missions in space, when they're suddenly attacked by a mysterious and all-powerful ship that they have no knowledge of up until this moment. This mysterious ship proceeds to completely fuck up the Normandy and actually killing off the main character in a very, very powerful opening. That's right, they actually kill Commander Shepard in the first 5 minutes of the game. Yeah, wow. But you already know that. Shepard gets revived, and once again he must assemble a crew to go back and fight the mysterious ship, who turns out to be a member of a wider organisation, once again working for the Reapers in the last game. Now, what problem do I have with Mass Effect 2? My issue is this. There is just so much fucking around in Mass Effect 2. In Mass Effect 1, you knew what you were doing. You knew you were in a rush to go and fuck up Saren before he fucked up the Alliance. There was a clear reason for everything you were doing, and there was a clear urgency to the entire situation. Mass Effect 2 doesn't have none of that shit. In Mass Effect 2, that mysterious ship that fucked you up in the opening part of the game, that species is called the Collectors, and they are scooping up entire colonies of humans, and they're just mysteriously taking them just where nobody knows. So you have entire colonies going missing, and the entire game revolves around doing assembling a team and then completing side quests for that team so they're in peak physical condition to go on the final suicide run towards the Collector Homeworld.
But doesn't that make total sense for the what?
Shut your mouth. Yes, if that's all the missions were, trying to get these people into peak physical condition for the suicide run, I would be totally down for that. I would understand. It just so happens that the tasks you have to do to prepare your team to go to the Collector Homeworld it's a mess. From Jack's mission where she wants to go back to her old orphanage because she was fucking bullied as a kid, so she wants to blow it up, to Rex's mission where he wants to go back to his homeworld because he's hitting puberty and he wants to go punch a giant space worm. These missions lack urgency, and when I was playing them, the only thing I can think of is why the hell am I sitting here in an orphanage planting a bomb so that Jack can feel better about herself when entire colonies of human beings are being scooped up every day? I think Commander Shepard may have his priorities a little messed up. And I can hear what you're saying.
Oh, but Elliot, in the first game, there was plenty of side quests which would have been a waste of time.
Yes, you're completely right. But in the first game, these side quests were not required to get the good ending. In Mass Effect 2, you're more than welcome to jump through the Omega-3 relay and go straight for the Collector Homeworld. But every single one of your people will die if you do so, giving you a bad ending and even worse start to Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 1 didn't do any of that shit. It lets you set the pace at your own rate and complete whatever you wanted and get to the ending and be satisfied with what you got. It didn't, however, ask you to go and fucking complete puberty missions with your big frog mate. Basically what I'm trying to say is Mass Effect 2 don't waste my fucking time. Because when you make me go blow up fucking orphanages, it wastes my fucking time. Don't do that, Mass Effect. I've got better things to do.
Not really, I just sit here on my fucking computer making videos.
Alright, now let's talk about the bad guys. In Mass Effect 1, you had Saren, and he was cool and conflicted, and you can tell there was shit going on behind his whole persona that he was trying to put forward in front of Commander Shepard. You knew that he was dealing with stuff and that he was trying to complete something that he believed in, but it even turned out to the end where you're not even sure if he believed in it or whether or not it was just the Reapers sort of pushing that impression onto him. He was a very complicated character and it came across as a very powerful performance. Now let's look at Mass Effect 2. Now, Mass Effect 2 doesn't actually have a dedicated antagonist as much as it just sort of has a group of people. And I know some people would like to claim...
Oh, but Elliot, Harbinger's the Reaper who's behind it all, and he's the bad guy of the video game.
Yeah, great, cool, bro. Well, then I guess we have an antagonist who we never once directly meet in the entire video game, and that we don't actually ever verse. Instead, we get to verse his... failed human Reaper hybrid experiment, which is possibly one of the worst video game endings I've ever played, because it basically comes down to
shoot the big glowing red spot on his face.
Mass Effect 2 just never really once had a powerful villain figure that you wanted to seek out and really destroy, like we did have in Mass Effect 1 with Saren. You wanted to go find him, you wanted to stop him, and yes, we wanted to go stop the Collectors in Mass Effect 2, but without like a main head, they're just sort of disposable grunts.
No pun intended.
I believe it would have been more satisfying to have one head collector that commanded the rest. Just as Saren commanded the Geth in the first game, I think that would have given you someone to root against, something to pull you through, instead of reaching the end and getting to fight that giant Terminator. Mass Effect 2's entire ending has always confused me. If the Reapers come back every generation to kill all life forms, assume their technology, and create a Reaper in their image, how come all the Reapers look exactly the same? I understand they're making a human Reaper, but I mean, did every single other civilization before the humans all look like little Reapers? But that can't be the case, because in the DLC for Mass Effect 3 we actually get a Prothean on your team. How come he looks nothing like a Reaper? Shouldn't one of the Reapers look exactly like him and come down and try to assimilate a planet? And why are they even collecting humans in the first place? As they say multiple times during the entirety of the first two games, humans are the newcomer to the Alliance. Shouldn't the collectors be scooping up Solarians or Turians? I mean, they generally have a higher place on the council than humans do. And it couldn't possibly be because humans are the toughest species in the galaxy. The Krogan are far tougher in like every aspect. Why don't the collectors just scoop up an entire colony of Krogan? I'll tell you why. Plot convenience! Long story less long, I don't like the story in Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 1 was to the point, it was very succinct. Mass Effect 2 seemed like a whole lot of things they wanted to do, but they just had to sort of stitch them together somehow. I totally get why they did some of the story elements that they did. I do get the appeal of going back and sort of helping your crew go through some of the tougher aspects they had in their childhood or maybe earlier adulthood. But that's side story stuff. That's stuff that you do when you don't feel like chugging straight through the story. Making it necessary to do to get a good ending, I think, is just shite. And for anyone who disagrees, that's fine, and I encourage you to disagree and create a dialogue with that. But I ask you this. If BioWare had actually taken out the mission where you go and look for Jacob's father down on that planet, how much of a detriment would have that been to the overall entirety of the game? The answer?
Fucking nothing.
In part 2 of this comparison, we'll be looking at the combat and how it evolved from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2, for better or for worse. Subscribe to find out.